tutorial we're going to learn how to place images on InDesign pages and resize them. So if we open up InDesign CC, we should be back at our startup screen. As you can see, Mag Layout, the document I created, is at the top of my recently opened list. So I can just double click on it there. If yours doesn't appear here, you might have to go through Open and into your files to wherever it is that your document was saved. So mine is here, so I'm just going to double click on it and open up my 6-page document that I created. So I'm going to pull an image on the front page of my magazine, and to do this I'm going to use the tool panel on the left hand side. I'm going to use the rectangle frame tool, which is the picture box tool, and I'll also be using the top tool, which is the selection tool. So when we think about images for the front page of a magazine, it's common to find that the images go all the way to the edges of the page. In other words, there's no white margin around the edge of the page, no border. It's all, the picture goes right out to the edges, and the masthead and the text sits on top of it. So as that's pretty common to magazine layout, I'm going to use that format for my front page. So there's a couple of ways to pull in pictures on InDesign. The first one is by going, as I say, to your rectangle frame tool on your tools panel. So you can see it there, a rectangular box with a cross in the middle of it. So if you click on that and then place your mouse in the corner of your page, click and drag, and you're dragging the picture box all the way down to cover the whole page. And as you can see, there it is, a picture box with a cross in the middle that covers the whole page. Now we want to pull a picture into the box, because in InDesign we can't pull pictures onto pages unless there's a box for them. So we've drawn our box, and we can either go to File and Place, or you can do Command D or Control D, whichever, it's all the same function. If we do that, it takes us to our files in our computer, and I can scroll through my desktop, and this is the picture I want. So I've double clicked it and it's appeared in the picture box which I've drawn. Now, as you can see, it hasn't filled out the picture box completely because there's a white space all the way around it, and our picture box is actually at the edges of the page. So this means the picture is slightly smaller than the picture box I've drawn. So in order to get this picture to fit, I need to go up here to these two tools, and it's the first one we use mostly, Fill Frame Proportionately. If I click that, you can see that the picture fills out right to the edges where my picture box is, so it takes out the whole page, which is what I want. If these tools, if you can't see them on the top right of the page, you can go to Object, Fitting, and they're there, Fill Frame Proportionally, Fit Content Proportionally. But it is usually Fill Frame you will use, because you draw the frame first in this case. So that's one way of pulling a picture onto a page. Another way of, just cancel that. Another way of doing it, I'm going to scroll down to one of my other pages, my second and third page, is to not draw the picture box first. You can draw the picture box after. So if we just go to File and Place, and we take a picture and double click on it, you can see that the picture is on the cursor, and I can hold it down again, click and drag, and my picture appears in the box. So you can either draw the picture box first, as we did up here, and pull the picture into it, or you can pull the picture on the page and then draw the picture box. It's the same result, and either way you have to have a box for the picture. That's the principle of InDesign with images. So with this picture, which I'm just going to pull right out to the edge there so it sits on the line, I might think this picture could do with being a little bit bigger to cut out this space around the edges on the right and left side, but I don't want to chop their feet off. So I might pull my picture box down a little bit, and then I've got space all the way around. And if I click on the center, on the content selection tool in the center of the box, if I click on that, that allows me to manipulate what is inside the box as opposed to moving the box about. It manipulates what's in the box. So while I'm on that center one, I can hold down Command or Control if you're on a PC, Control, Alt, and the greater than key, or less than to make it smaller. So if I hold down Control, Alt, and press the greater than key, it brings the picture size up. If I press Control, Alt, and the less than key, it brings the picture size down. So that's an easy way of making your pictures bigger or smaller within your box. So if I do that, and they're still, and then I move the picture while I'm on that content selection tool, and I move it so that all the three women are in the picture, their feet are in and their heads are in. And that's, might just pull that down ever so slightly for her shoe, and that's sized about right. I'll just pull the top down, and that's sized about right there. So that's the two different ways you can pull pictures onto the page in InDesign. I'm also going to pull another picture in down here. So I'm going to draw a box. I want it to come roughly halfway across the page. And I want it to sit down at the bottom. So I can see that this is halfway across the page because I've got 5 columns on the page, and I've pulled this picture box roughly 2.5 columns across, which means I know it takes up around half the page widthwise. So I've drawn my picture box like we did the first time. I go to File and Place, and I'm going to take this one, and I can see that she doesn't quite fit the box. She's a little bit too big for this box, so I'm going to go back up here to my fill frame proportionally. I'm going to click on that, and still she's missing, her elbow is cut off here, so I'm going to move using my content selection when it's in the middle of the picture and the hand comes up. That tells us we can manipulate what's inside the picture box. So I'm just going to move her over so that she's fully in the box. If I want to move this box about, I click back on it, but I don't go in the center. I stay out where the cursor is like a little black arrow, and then I can move the actual box around. But when I want to move what's inside it, I'm on that hand tool. So that's the difference between your content selection tools. So I have pulled 3 pictures onto my InDesign pages, and that's how you resize them.